I am going to turn now to talking specifically about Indian American Hindu population and what's kind of been going on in the ground a little bit here in New Jersey, but also in Georgia, which is really critical as it is one of our swing states. So in Georgia, I am from Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta, so I kind of keep tabs there, particular as to what is going on, and I can kind of provide you with a bit of a case study. In 2020 and also in 2021. In 2021, there was a special election where we elected both Senators Warnock and Ossoff. And this was just the day before the January 6th insurrection. So a 48-hour period. It was really unbelievable as to what had happened in our country. But what we see is there is support, and Jerry's presentation showed us how the support has changed and what it looks like in terms of Indian Americans for Trump and then for Biden. And then we just, we'll see what happens with Vice President Harris. But having somebody from your community run is really a really important way that our communities, our Asian American religious communities, get involved. So this is my cousin, my first cousin, and he is a hardcore supporter of President Trump, has been from the very beginning, from 2015. And he turns out to be a good kind of story and case study in terms of talking about the Indian American Hindu population and why they support Trump, and I think why they will continue to support him in this 2024 election. Karthik, just as a background, he came to the United States about 20 years ago, worked really hard, came with his mom and dad, my maternal aunt and uncle. And in the first year, worked at Walmart, all three of them. Within a year, they were able to save up money and buy a house. This particular cousin of mine has a speech impediment and was often written off, even by my family members. He worked really hard here. He took the entrance exam to join the Cobb County Sheriff's Department, passed, joined. He worked in the K-9 unit for many, many years, and then got into commercial real estate and has hit it big, financially speaking. And he is a financial supporter of the Trump campaign and really believes very strongly. Now, it's interesting to think about why Indian American Hindus support Trump. And there's a few factors coming in. Trump has talked about being a successful businessman. We have many in the Indian American Hindu community that are businessmen, and they therefore look up to Trump and feel that he really offers a lot, that he understands the economy and economic situation better than the Democratic administrations. So that's one big reason. Another reason is the, unfortunately, anti-Black racism he supports. Anti-Black racism, unfortunately, is strong in Indian American, South Asian American, and I would even say the larger Asian American community. And so the way he talks about Black folks sometimes resonates, unfortunately, with the Indian American Hindu population. The other bit that resonates is his anti-Muslim sentiments and Islamophobia that he spews. When he signed the executive order that we refer to as the Muslim ban, several, I heard, here on the ground in New Jersey as well as in Georgia, that, this was a good thing because Muslims cause problems all over the world. This is something I hear. The other thing is that the bromance between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi is a very significant factor. Trump even recently has talked about how he loves the Hindus. This is something I see on WhatsApp groups. I think many of you are probably familiar with WhatsApp, but it's an app that many in the South Asian American community are very involved with, and how they keep up with news, misinformation, unfortunately, family, everything. If you're not on WhatsApp, you don't really know what's going on in my family, and I would say many other families. In 2019, in Houston, Texas, there was an event called Howdy Modi. and 50,000 people showed up, and President Trump was there too. And then something that so many Indians talk about with pride, particularly those who are Gujarati, which is those who come from the state of Gujarat, is in February of 2020, Trump visited, not only did he visit India, but he went to Gujarat. And there were 125,000 people in the stadium there to greet him. And this is very significant. I think roughly over 50% of the Indian American population in the United States hails from Gujarat. And so they're a significant part of this country's Indian American population. And so this is something many talk about with great pride. And going back to my cousin, he was one of the first who's ran as a Republican, as an Indian American Hindu, as a Republican for statewide office in Georgia. And that has really galvanized a lot of people. There were, many Indian Americans who identify as Republicans were probably a little more quiet, as the majority were of their friend circle are Democrats. And, Jerry's slides showed us how that plays out. But my cousin running for statewide office really gave people someone to get behind. And I think that is going to help President Trump's numbers in 2020, in the election that is now 29 days away. So, voter engagement, mobilization, it's about things here on the ground, but it is also, and communities and elected officials having relationships, but it's also about geopolitics and transnational politics. And they will continue to play a role in immigrant communities.